Hey y'all, so after we made it here to the beautiful Bahamas, we were looking back on our awesome trip to Mexico, and we were reflecting back on what it was like for us to sail our own boat to Mexico, and we wanted to share with you what you need to know if you want to sail your own boat to Mexico, and share with you what that whole process looked like for us.
That's right.
So when you fly into Mexico on a commercial plane, it's a pretty simple process. You get off the plane and they herd you in the right direction, and then they herd you like a bunch of cattle into a line. Then you pull out your passport and show them your passport, and then they stamp it and you're on your merry way. But when you sail your own boat into Mexico, it's a little bit more involved process, and you need several documents. So we're going to go over the documents that you need.
Alright y'all, so the first thing that you are going to need when sailing into Mexico is, of course, your passport. Now, one time I know that U.S. citizens could travel to Mexico with just their driver's license, but even U.S. citizens sailing into Mexico are required to have their passport.
Now, the next thing you need when you sail your own boat into Mexico is one of those FMM forms. Now, FMM is the Forma Migración Multiple. The FMM form is the permit that you need to enter Mexico by boat. The immigration officials fill out this document, and they keep the top part of it, and you keep the bottom part of it. And that's very important to keep that on board at all times, because that permit is your proof that you are legally in Mexico aboard your own boat. Now, there are several vessel documentation requirements that have to be met in order to get your own boat into Mexico. First, you have to have your original vessel documentation registration certificate. Next, if your vessel is registered in a corporation or an LLC, you have to have a letter from the entity, the corporation or the LLC, authorizing the master or captain to use the boat in Mexican national waters. Now, Tela is in an LLC, but we did not get asked for this particular document. Now, back in the days of flying, I flew my own plane to Belize in the past, and my planes were always in an LLC, and I did get asked in Belize for that particular document, a authorization from the LLC authorizing me to use the airplane. Now, even though this same requirement exists in Mexico for sailing your boat that is registered to a corporation or an LLC, as I said, we simply didn't get asked for it. We had it, but didn't need it.
And the next thing that you are going to need for your vessel sailing into Mexico is proof of the liability insurance.
Now, the next thing you need when you sail your own boat into Mexico is a tip. And no, I don't mean just the tip. Now, the tip is a temporary import permit. Now, you can apply for this online, or you can get the temporary import permit filled out at your first official Mexican port of entry where you enter the country. Now, we did this in Isla, Mujeres at the Customs and Immigration Office. Now, the last document on the list that you may get asked for in Mexico when you sail your own boat there is a ZARPA. Now, a ZARPA doesn't exist in the official Mexican regulations, but it is something that they do ask you for from time to time. And the ZARPA is something that is not required to leave U.S. waters. Customs and Border Patrol does not require you to have a formal exit document. However, if you go to the airport in Key West and go to the Customs and Border Patrol office, they will give you a ZARPA. If you tell them you're going to Mexico and you think you're going to get asked for one, they'll give you one, even though it's not required to leave U.S. waters.
However, you can get away with not having a ZARPA entering into Mexico if you have your fuel receipt from where you were last in the U.S. And they did accept that from us. We had a fuel receipt from Key West.
That's right. We got out of the ZARPA requirement. We didn't have to go to the airport and get one from Customs and Border Patrol, because we did show a fuel receipt where we purchased fuel prior to leaving Key West and heading off to Mexico, and the Mexican officials accepted that in lieu of the ZARPA. So y'all be sure and take you a fuel receipt with you if you're headed off to Mexico once you leave Key West or wherever you're heading off to Mexico from in the U.S. Now, the next thing you got to go through after you get all your paperwork done is you got to go through the physical inspections of your vessel by the customs official, as well as the agriculture department official from the Mexican government. Now, as far as the customs search goes, a couple of key things that you need to know. Number one, in Mexico, they don't allow you to bring any alcohol into the country aboard your boat. So you shouldn't take any alcohol, and if you do have some stashed away in your boat, you need to make sure that it is not out in plain sight or easily discoverable, because they could potentially give you a fine or give you some type of delay or hassle over having alcohol aboard your boat. Next on the no-no list for Mexico aboard your boat is firearms. Now, you cannot have a firearm aboard your boat in Mexico unless you have a special permit that was issued by the Mexican embassy or Mexican consulate prior to your arrival in the country. So the actual search by the Mexican customs official aboard our boat kind of looked like this. He and I went to the rear of the boat into the aft cabin, and he wanted me to lift up one of the floorboards and show him what was in there, and it happened to be our transmission to our engine. So then we walked forward in the boat, and we walked into the salon area, and he wanted me to lift up all of the cushions and the settees and show him what was in the storage compartments underneath. Then the next thing we did is we headed up into the V-berth, and he wanted me to take some of the compartments off the top of the V-berth storage area and show him what was underneath there. So that's what the physical search of our boat looked like by the customs official.
So while Sean was handling that inspection with the customs officer, I was handling the agriculture inspection. So what that is they are very specific about 3 things they do not want you to bring on your boat food-wise. That's going to be eggs, chicken, and beef. So they come on your boat and they take a look at everything you've got and make sure that you are in line with their rules. Now, we did have a 10 a.m. appointment, so we knew they were coming and we knew that eggs were not allowed, but we did have a dozen eggs on board. So, before they got here for breakfast, y'all, we cooked all 12 of those eggs and we had us a big old breakfast, a pile of eggs, scrambled eggs for breakfast that morning. It was a lot, but we had to get rid of the eggs before the agriculture officer came on board and inspected everything. Once she was here, like I said, Sean was doing everything with the customs officer, and then I was handling everything with her. So Sean's on one side of the boat with the customs officer pulling up cushions, and I'm in the galley with the agriculture officer, and she's having me open all the cabinets and look at all the food. She didn't touch anything, but she just wanted me to specifically tell her what we had. So I started with one cabinet and showed her our ramen noodles and rice and all of our dry goods and kind of listed out everything for her. And then I opened up the refrigerator and verbally told her what everything was, closed it up, and that was that. That was all that she needed. And last but not least, if you happen to be bringing a pet with you to Mexico, we did. We, of course, brought our little Delilah girl. Then there are 2 documents that you need, and then they will also do a physical inspection of your pet. Now, those 2 documents are the rabies certificate and then also a health certificate that has been issued by your vet within 10 days before entering Mexico. In addition to that, they did come on board. The lady who did all of our galley inspection and all of our food inspections, she also was in charge of examining Delilah Girl. So all they did with Delilah Girl was they just kind of like brushed their hand across her hair and made sure she didn't have any fleas or ticks. And then they spread her little toes apart and just looked between those, looked at the bottom of her feet, and then they took a photo of her as well. And that was that, easy peasy, and she was all good and accepted into Mexico.
So there you have it, y'all. That's the check-in process. Now, once you get checked in on your own boat, 2 of the most important things that you want to know right off the bat is, number 1, where are you going to get provisions? And number 2, where are you going to do your dirty laundry?
That's right, baby.
First, provisioning. Now, we were in Isla, Mujeres, Mexico, and we were fortunate that just right down the road, and I mean less than a mile, easy walking distance from the marina, there was a chedraui. And y'all, let me tell you, that chedraui was like the equivalent of a super Walmart and a super Target all combined.
It was huge. I mean, they literally have everything there.
Hell, they even had motor scooters in there. I'd never seen anything like it. So next up on the list of important things is laundry, and where are you going to do all your dirty laundry? We're very extremely fortunate that right outside the gate of the resort where Puerto Isla Mujeres Marina is located, there was an extremely nice and extremely clean laundry facility called La Wash Lavanderia. Now this is not one of those self-serve coin-operated joints. You can't go in there and do your own laundry. You take your bags of dirty laundry and you drop them off, and they charge you 20 pesos per kilo. And let me tell y'all, it was worth every single peso because they did an extremely good job. The clothes were extremely clean, fresh, and perfectly folded and bagged when you went to pick them up.
So after you've got your laundry done, after you've been provisioning, got your groceries all squared away, you're probably going to want to go out and do some exploring. But lucky for y'all, we actually did a ton of exploring and went to quite a few different restaurants. And we have narrowed down a list of our top 3 favorite restaurants in all of Isla Mujeres. And y'all, they're so good, we even went to them multiple times. So in no particular order, our top 3 favorite restaurants in Isla Mujeres are Picos, the Green Verde, and La Casa del Chicken-Chick. And we'll show you some clips right here of each one so you can check them out and learn a little bit more about each of these 3 top restaurants. Nachos Natural, and then we have all of the little fixings over here. Sean got some camarons or camarones. Garlic shrimp, yes, and all the little sides. And then I don't remember how you say it in Spanish, but I got the seafood tacos with a view. All right, babe, how was your breakfast?
It's excellent. The Green Verde is awesome. Highly recommend. The flavors are very fresh and flavorful.
I could not agree more. Chef's kiss. We're at the Green Verde. I ended up getting the soy sauce. It's got chicken and cheese, and then it's covered in a green sauce and cheese and salad, and I've got a little bit of rice on the side. Oh my god, I can already tell it's gonna be delicious. I can't wait to dig in. And then Sean ended up getting...
It is the tricolor enchiladas.
His little side of rice as well. Can't wait for Sean to dig into that, and I'm definitely gonna have a bite of his as well. Y'all, we ordered chips, salsa, and queso, and can you believe this presentation? Look at the queso. Oh my god!
Now, if y'all are on Isla Mujeres on vacation and you're loving all the Mexican food, but at some point you really get the hankering for some good old food from the US of A, you've got to stop in Oscar's Grill. They have the best, authentic New York style pizza you have ever tasted.
Oh my god, yeah.
Highly recommend stopping in Oscar's and having a pizza and an ice cold beer, y'all.
Oh yeah.
And last but not least, no adventure is complete until you've explored ice cream.
That's right.
Now, the very best ice cream in all of Isla Mujeres, and I ain't kidding you, y'all, is a little bitty street side place called Helado Salon. They have the best, creamiest, smoothest tasting ice cream in all of Isla Mujeres. So if y'all are there, you gotta go by that place and check it out. First bite, let's see. I can say without a doubt, this is absolutely delicious and the very best ice cream that we've had here in Isla Mujeres, period, y'all.
So that is going to wrap up today's video. We hope that you guys found these tips very helpful, and let us know in the comments below if you're planning on taking your sailboat into Mexico. We'd love to know. If you're not already subscribed to Tela, go ahead and click that subscribe button now. Hit the like button, and like I said, definitely leave us a comment. We read every single comment on every single video, so we love reading those and seeing what y'all have to say. We also have several videos from when we were in Mexico, so we'll have those linked in the description box below so you can check those out if you're interested in watching our Mexico content. And don't forget, we post 2 videos every week, so definitely make sure you're subscribed. Make sure to like, share, tag, follow, all that jazz, and we'll see y'all next time on Sailing Tela.
That's right.
Thank you.